searching for us.
Kwesi was my mother, and I'm her daughter, so basically that's what Kwesi's daughter means. But the real meaning, or the deeper meaning behind that is, my mom was an alcoholic, and she had like a lot of issues, and people knew her for that. So automatically when I was born, people determined that my life would end up being like hers. You know, that by the time I turn 16, this and this will happen to me. You know how people always say you're going to end up like your mom, or you're going to end up like your dad. And I had to prove people wrong, to say regardless of me being Kwesi's daughter, I can still achieve more than my mom achieved. So basically Kwesi's daughter is just a tagline to say Kwesi's daughter didn't turn out to be like Kwesi. She turned out to be a better person. She turned out to be influential. She turned out to be, you know, somebody that God used to explore talent, to grow people and inspire people to become better people. So people needed to know that Kwesi's daughter was the one who was doing this, because they didn't believe Kwesi's daughter could do this in the first place. So it's just like a tribute to my mom, or living up to a different legacy, or clearing up her name, making people understand that she did not birth a mistake, but she birthed a blessing to the world. So yeah, that's pretty much that.
Remember who I am. Where did I go? Where do I go?
The title, the song is titled Crazy because, well, it talks about how many of the times people considered me to be crazy in how I was delivering the message or the gospel. I always say this, and I say this all the time, people are used to having a Christian artist say God and Jesus and God, and you know, Jesus loves you and all these different things in their music, in order for them to be considered a Christian artist, or in order for them to be considered gospel. And once I came into the scene with a completely different sound, people didn't really like it. They didn't accept it, and they tried to, what word am I using, silence me rather, with bad comments, with backlash, with criticism. And basically this song speaks about, if you listen to the lyrics, you have no right to distort my tune, heart was a rock but a flower still bloomed. So it basically talks about whether people call me crazy or not, I know what God has told me to do, I know what He has purposed me to do, and I feel like everything I've gone through is for a reason. And now that I'm in the Christian circle and talking about things that a lot of people don't like to talk about or be so blunt about, of course I'm going to be called crazy, I'm going to be called obnoxious, I'm going to be called a bunch of other things, but it doesn't really matter, because God has asked me to do this, and I feel like this is my life's purpose. So it doesn't matter if you call me crazy. Pretty much that's what the song means. That's the meaning behind it. I call Sanity a dream because it's a dream. I don't believe, you know how people say you're normal, but then I feel like there's so many different levels of normal, you know, like what is normal even? Like, is normal even? I feel like it's such an abstract concept, because we're different people and we think on different levels and different perspectives. So I believe normality is something that humanity created to box people, like put people in a box, but I don't think that it's real. I think it's an illusion. I feel like people should be able to express themselves however they want to, whenever they want to, because that's how God made you, and you should own that. You should take that in. So if people say that's abnormal, then okay, sanity is an illusion. Well, Light Up basically talks about, if you've noticed on social media, there's been a lot of negativity, you know. People make fun of other people's bodies, other people's disabilities. It's like people find joy in making other people feel bad about themselves and insecure about themselves. And that's where the world is going. Being petty, being a savage, insulting friends, exposing each other for no apparent reason, like there's going to be any benefit at the end of the day. So Light Up basically talks about show love. Wherever you are, show love, whoever it is, because you don't know what the next person is going through. You could be on Facebook making fun of somebody else, not knowing that they're going through, you know, a really rough patch in their life and they're suicidal, and the slightest thing you say could cause them to commit suicide that day. So always be kind, always be loving to people, light up and show love. And it also talks about how people should not be afraid to express themselves concerning their scars. I know a lot of people that don't like talking about their issues or the things that they've struggled with because of how people look at them. But learn to wear your scars with pride, because you don't know who you're inspiring next. You don't know who you're lifting up with your story. So Light Up basically talks about showing love, all the time to anybody and everybody, and kindness, and just killing this whole culture of let's be savage, let's be petty, let's hate each other, because I feel like it's not taking us anywhere. Nowhere at all.
My mama, cause she couldn't stop it, lost her controlling, let me in peace.
BYENDA'S poem. BYENDA is my stylist, by the way. I thought I should give her this poem because I love her so much, and I just felt like I should give her something on this EP. And the story behind the poem basically talks about how many of the times that our social anxiety, we don't know how to really, how can I put it, live, you know. There's always the thought of what do people think if I go outside, who am I going to meet, how are they going to think, what are they going to think about what I'm wearing, how I'm dressing, and all these different things. So basically that poem explains the many trials in our lives where we feel like we're not balancing. I don't like it here, I don't like how the demons play with my hair, braiding into it the thoughts of rebellion and the stench of fear. So it's like constantly you're afraid to bring out yourself, you're afraid to express yourself because you're afraid of what's going to happen next. Music is one thing that I feel is very therapeutic for people like me. You know, music is where I find joy. I dance, even though, you know, like I only show those moves when I'm alone because it's a different struggle. But chasing after God is, I feel like, one of the best things that anybody could ever do for themselves. I know a lot of people think that Christianity is boring and, you know, there's not enough fun in Christianity. But trust me, once you understand what God is in your life, or who God is in your life and what He stands for in your life, you will find all the satisfaction that you need in His presence and in His love. And just be around people that actually love and care about you. I mean, go watch a movie, go get a platter from I don't know where and just eat your lungs out. I believe that there's so many other joys in this life that come without the alcohol and without the drugs and without the high. So just, you know, explore life, do different things.
I've been searching for.
We kind of felt like a lot of times when we're making projects, people don't know what happens in the studio. So honestly, people thought are crying in the studio and it's sad and whatnot. So we thought, you know, let's just give people a feel of what happens in the studio. We're always not serious and, you know, constantly mixing stuff and using FL. We also make jokes as well. So the skit was basically for that.
See the truth, I'm trying to escape, floating on clouds, leading me to my early grave.
Before, I had a time in my life basically where I went to drugs and alcohol to find closure. So the chorus goes, been low for so long, got me searching for highs. So it's like I've been at such a low place in my life, I'm so depressed, that I'm looking for temporary highs. If I get drunk, I'll forget I'm upset and I'll laugh for that 30 minutes, so before I black out, that is. I'll laugh for that 30 minutes and dance the night away and then black out, and then wake up in the morning and find myself in the same situation, upset, angry, sad, depressed. So it talks about how I was looking for closure in the wrong places, and it also talks about my mom a little bit. The second verse starts with, I'm Kwesi's daughter, but I don't want to be like her. Like I mentioned, my mom was an alcoholic. So as I noticed that I was slowly getting into the same place that my mom was getting into, I didn't want to end up like her. I love my mom. My mom was a beautiful person. She was so wise beyond her years. But I really feel like there's a lot that was wrong with her that I didn't want to be the case with me. Because a lot of us find ourselves drowning our sorrows and our problems in alcohol. And that's what happened to her. And I didn't want history to repeat itself. So Kwesi's Daughter 2 basically talks about that time in my life while I was contemplating between indulging in drugs and just like letting myself go and move with the wave of just, you know, drugs until death do us part, or making a decision and saying you don't have to be like your mom.